Hello friends, welcome back to Pipes, Tattoos, and Conversations. I'm Tattooed Piper, and you guys are slightly angled. Or I'm slightly angled. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to do two things. I am going to show you how I pack my pipe, and I'm also going to review Tombigbee by the Country Squire. I just opened this bag and filled up my trusty mason jar. Tombigbee, BB. And I actually smoked it for the first time. And let me tell you, Lane 1Q, love that stuff. But I think I may found my new favorite aromatic, because this Tombigbee, which used to be part of the Middle Earth series from the Country Squire. Now it's part of the Fantasy South series. And I think it used to be called Old Toby, which was named after Tobias Hornblower, who was the hobbit who is generally thought of as bringing Longbottom Leaf and Old Toby and, the tobaccos to Hobbiton, to the Squire, or the Shire. So, anyway, just a little history there. But first, before we get into this review, let's pack this pipe, and I will show you how I pack it. Now, I like to pack my pipes really a lot more loose than a lot of people do. I like my pipe to free flow very, very well. And I have found that I get more flavor out of a pipe that is free flowing and I can sip slowly, rather than one that is packed a little tighter. Now, I'm not talking about milkshake tight. I'm talking about soda. Like, they say when you pack a pipe, it's like you're drinking soda through a straw. I essentially like it as if you're just sucking air through the straw. That's how loose I like my tobacco. Now, a lot of you are gonna shame me for that. That's fine, but that's how I like to do it. Some people like their tobacco milkshake tight. I mean, everybody has their own way of doing this. So anyway, let's get into that right here. Okay, this is the best way I've found to pack a pipe. Got my Savinelli 320, and it's a Rustica style. Is it called an Estrella? It's an alright pipe. I'm not really the biggest fan of it, but it works well for aromatics. And I got some Tombigbee from the Country Squire here. Okay, so as I said in the opening, I am a guy who likes to pack my pipes really loose. They just flow better. I feel like I get a better draw from them. So what I do is I just take my pipe and I drop some in there, and I don't really even pack it down on the first. I just drop a little more until it's completely full, and then I pack it down, and I pack it like super loose. That's about it. I might throw the rest of this in there, just like this. But as you can see, I didn't do any three-step method, and if you look in there, I'm not sure how focused you're gonna get, but that's really loose. It's really, I'm barely putting any pressure. If I put pressure on it, I could probably push that down to like 3/4 of the way. Like, let's give that a try as an experiment. Yeah, I pushed it down, and it went down about halfway down the bowl. So I'm gonna dump it out because it's too much, or too hard for me anyway. too hard packed. But yeah, get the rest of this out of here. So anyway, got it all out, but yeah, sorry about that. As you can see, I just go super loose. I am not a fan of really tight tobacco bowls, and even like when you sip it and you sip it through, like when you're puffing on your pipe and it's supposed to be like sipping a soda, I'm even of a lighter draw than that. I like it to be really free flowing, and I feel like that works the best for me. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that video. I'll see you guys back in the chair. Welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. I have my 7LE320. As I said, I wasn't a big fan of this pipe when I first found it. The bowl is really big, and I like a smaller, taller bowl. To me, it's just easier to pack, easier to light. But once I found this method of packing loosely, I've started to like bigger bowls. So let me reach back and grab a lighter and a tamper from behind. And as you can see from the last video, the shelf over here has changed just a little bit, and I will actually be going through my pipe collection and all of that stuff here soon for you guys. So you guys will be able to actually see how this shelf is set up. I finally got it exactly the way I want it. I've got my library and my tins exactly the way I want them. So hopefully this is the way it will always stay, and it will not change unless I buy new pipes. Okay, so anyway, that aside, let's get the tin note of Tombigbee for you. You know, it's amazing. Probably one of the best smelling tobaccos I have ever smelled in my life. It smells, so it's labeled Snicker. God, I cannot speak today. It's labeled Snickerdoodle cookie, and that's what they say. They claim that it is, and it smells just like a Snickerdoodle cookie. I can smell vanilla, a little caramel, a little cinnamon, and I can smell the breadiness of the cookie, if that makes sense. It definitely smells as if you eat a Snickerdoodle cookie. That's what this smells like, or the aroma as they're baking in the house. It's exactly what this smells like. I swear this is the best smelling tobacco I've ever smelled. I thought Lane 1Q was, but this takes the cake. Oh, I could just like bathe in this. Maybe I should see if my wife could get a perfume that smells like this, because it smells absolutely amazing. There's a slight, tiny little hint of chocolate, but it's really subdued. It's mainly those maples. There's a little bit of that in there, like the maple, the vanilla, the cinnamon, just that Snickerdoodle classic smell, and it smells amazing. All right, well, let's get this 7LE320 lit up and going. Okay, As you can see how long it took me to light that. This tobacco is a little more damp, but also one of the reasons I'm not as big a fan of wide mouth bowls like this is because you have to light it, and it takes so long just to do a char light as compared to, say, this port of, I'm not even sure what that exactly is. It's just a pipe that I got, but as opposed to this one, you could see how small that is compared to how big that is. And this one takes no time to light up. You just basically wave the match and just right over the top of it, and everything's lit. But you're trying to get this thing lit, and it just takes forever. Let me put that back. And it takes forever. It's a challenge. Okay, we got the char light. And right off the char light, that snickerdoodle, it comes out. It is amazing how well the flavor of the tobacco transfers from the tin to the pipe itself. It's not like, of course, like eating a snickerdoodle cookie. Every time pipe reviewers or people in general who are pipe smokers talk about the flavors of the pipe, it's all, different levels, but it's in the wispies. It's in just the I don't know how to explain it. It's in it's in the air of the flavor. It's like you're just adding a little essence of that flavor to the tobacco. Now this, when it comes through, has more than just an essence, but it's still not like eating a cookie. It's about halfway between what a normal aromatic would be and actually eating the food. Yeah, this is delicious. This would be excellent for a dessert after a full meal. I just was in there and I was just eating a steak, and this is the perfect, I don't really eat a lot of sweets. So this is actually perfect to get that craving taken care of. Because you can definitely substitute this for ice cream or a snickerdoodle cookie or something. This is absolutely fantastic. Tastes just like a snickerdoodle cookie. You've got definitely maple flavor, vanilla, a little tiny bit of chocolate, which snickerdoodles don't have any chocolate in them, but it, in the back of your mouth, you can always taste a little bit of chocolate when you eat a snickerdoodle. At least I don't think they have chocolate. I'm not sure. But it's like everything is just so bold and perfect. Now, as I said, this tobacco comes a little damp, so you might want to dry it just a little bit. I didn't, and it's staying lit pretty well for me. Now, the last bowl I smoked was in that Portofino pipe, that smaller one. And that one concentrated the flavors a little more. This, the flavors of the snickerdoodle part are not as apparent. You get a little bit more of the tobacco. Now they're still really present, but you get a little more of the tobacco in these wider mouth bowls, the tobacco flavor. That nutty, kind of earthy tones that you get, but I don't really get much earth in this. I get more nut from this burley, and that's probably because of the topping. in that other pipe that I have, that narrow bowl, man, it was topping the entire way down, except for the very, very end. So I assume that this one will probably get a little bit more nutty as you get to the middle. But it's delicious. You guys remember as kids, I don't know if you guys do, but going to your grandmother's house, or maybe your mom made Thanksgiving or whatever, going for Thanksgiving meals, or well, pretty much any dinner, right? Any dinner that anybody would cook up, but the dessert would come out. And whether it was pumpkin pie or cookies or ice cream or whatever it was, like just the thrill that you would get as a child when these delicious, delicious treats would just come out and be set in front of you on the table. And you're just like, yeah, it's dessert time. You know, you got a full belly from all the food that you just ate. And now you've got dessert in front of you and you're like, oh, I don't know if I have room for that. And then it gets placed in front of you and you're like, oh, I have room for that. I have room. And that's why we're all overweight as Americans. This is what that reminds me of. Or that is what this reminds me of. This Tombigbee is amazing tobacco. Yeah, this is absolutely delicious. If you get a chance, go on Country Squire and order some Tombigbee. Now, order anything from the Country Squire. All of their aromatics are great. Riverboat Queen is great. The Trumpeter, their black cherry, phenomenal. I'm going to do a review on that as well. I have a couple more up here. But even like their non-aromatics, their Faulkner Flake, their Cornishman, pretty much any of their tobaccos are gonna be an excellent smoke. Find one that pairs with what you like. You know, if you like Englishes, go with the Cornishman or the Angry Cornishman, which has more Latakia. Or if you like Virginia's, Faulkner Flake. They also have one called Trade Winds, I believe, and it's just like, what do you call that? Not ready rubbed, but it's already in ribbons. And that's Virginia's. And then if you like aromatics, they have some of the best aromatics that you could buy. They have a blueberry one, and I'm trying to remember the name, or a blackberry one, and I'm trying to remember the name of it now, but I can't. And I'm just about to put an order in for some of that because it looks really good. But yeah, if you get a chance, go on there. Pick up some Tombigbee. You will not be disappointed. You see how well it stays lit? I've only had to do 3 lights, and that's because I'm sitting here talking to you all. You're distracting me from my tobacco. It's amazing, and it burns cool. I don't get any tongue bite from Tombigbee at all. And the nicotine ghosts, they're not really present in here. If you smoke a huge, like maybe 2 or 3 huge pipes like this in a row, you might be presented with some nicotine ghosts, but for the most part, they're pretty subdued. Snickerdoodle cookie. Well, anyway, have a great weekend. Take care. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Or as I said before, you probably shouldn't do anything I actually would do. That would probably keep you safer. But be blessed. Cheers.